batho ba me. My name is Mandi and welcome to my channel where I talk all things my 5 L's: law, leadership, love, life, and the Lord. So welcome to my video, which is basically 5 tips that I have as advice for youth leaders in Botswana. So if you're interested, keep watching. Yeah, so my first advice to youth leaders in Botswana, it's number one, my top one, which I really believed helped me as well, is personal branding. So people usually ask me, oh, how do people put youth on, or how did I whatever. So I have once said something at like an event, and I said that it's not, oh, this is just put youth on. It's rather Mandipa started put youth on. So there's an importance, I feel, to establish yourself as an individual first, so that when you start something, your personal brand pulls people to it. So people know you, and then they know the organization. Because usually establishing the organization or your initiative first is a little bit harder if people don't know who is behind it. So if you have positioned yourself as an individual that is trustworthy, an individual that is dedicated, hardworking, and I really trust LinkedIn for the number one personal branding app. Even all your other social media platforms have to be in line with the person who you're trying to be, because your personal brand is how people see you, so it's unfortunately you have to care about how people see you and how people view you. So like I said, you have to brand yourself in a way that you want to be seen, and I highly recommend posting on LinkedIn. Start doing short courses, post consistently, post when you're going to events, post when you've learned something amazing, post when you're volunteering somewhere. And the more you establish yourself on LinkedIn as a brand, then when you start your organization, when you started your initiative, you can post, oh, and then someone sees it and is, oh, okay, Mandipa started Put Youth On. Not put youth on is just guys. So that's my number one advice, and that's something that has really assisted me, because people know me from LinkedIn, and then they know put youth on because I started put youth on. So yeah, number two now, something that I really think is important is that you need to lead yourself before you lead others. So literally, it's not possible, or rather it's going to catch up with you. And this is, I'm stealing it from baka. He mentioned that there's a need to lead yourself before you lead others. You are not able to be a leader if you haven't mastered leadership of self. You are your first follower, which is exactly what Baka said. You're your first follower. So manage yourself, manage your emotions, educate yourself, lead yourself, be who exactly you want to be, gym, all of those things that you want to reach. You need to be able to have led yourself to do that, to prove to yourself also. That's how you build confidence in yourself as a leader. I'm very dedicated to these things, so when I lead others, I'm able to also help them be able to have those principles in them as well, because I have them myself. Because leadership is one of the very important aspects about leadership also is authenticity. You have to be authentic, because who you are, if you're not who you say you are, people will find out. People will know, people will see, oh, no, this person is, there's some gaps here and there in their character. But if you're being exactly who you are, and you work very hard to lead yourself and have certain principles and characteristics that make you the leader that you want to be, then no one can really see any gaps. So when you lead other people, it comes naturally, because you're also very loving, because you're confident in yourself. You're not competing with anyone. You're not selfish. You're very selfless. So all those things are things that people cannot steal from you. So my second advice, like I said, lead yourself before you lead others. Number three, someone once told me that, how do you lead other people if you guys have the same level of knowledge? So it's not possible for you to be a leader if you have the same amount of knowledge as your followers. Then what are you teaching them? What are you leading them to? There's an importance for you to invest in self, invest in developing yourself, in knowledge of so many different things. Also read books about other people, personal skills. Read books about leadership, read books about whatever sector you are wanting to lead in. For example, if you're into climate change, You have to learn about climate change. How do you start an organization but you don't know anything about climate change? But you want to lead people to in an initiative about climate change in Botswana? So, like I said, invest in your education, invest in your skills. There's so many free different short courses. ChatGPT will tell you and will point you to the different online academies that can give you access to free materials in order for you to learn whatever aspect you're in, so that when you come to other people, they can learn from you. And learning never, ever, ever stops. Don't make the mistake of thinking, okay, I've learned enough. It's impossible. It's impossible. So keep learning, keep investing in yourself, keep improving and all of those things so you can be a valuable and impactful leader. And then number 4, which is something that I'm going to say I like all of these ones, but yeah, I like it too. It's basically stay humble and coachable. You have to have a teachable spirit as a leader. You're not supposed to be someone that ever gets to a point where you feel like you know everything. You know too much. You can't listen to anyone's advice, And the Bible does say that, success comes from wise counsel. So you have to be surrounded by people that you trust and can ask advice from, and they can be able to tell you things. They can help you make certain decisions. And you always have to be willing to learn, not only from other leaders, but from your followers as well. Because don't ever make the mistake for leading what's the word? When you lead dictatorship. Don't lead a dictatorship. Don't run your initiative as if you're a dictator. Because like I said, leadership is very selfless. So you need to include the people you're trying to lead in your leadership journey. Because or else, who are you really leading for? You're not leading for people, you're leading for yourself. And the other thing with leadership is people usually venture into leadership because you want to, what's the word? Not that you want to prove to yourself or you want to prove to others that you are better than what they thought. It's about self. And it's very selfish, you want to make it alone because you're trying to climb on the top, But leadership is beyond that. Leadership is very, very, you need to see it for what it is. Leadership is very selfless. Leadership is about looking at other people and seeing that, damn, there's something in these people that I need to help them bring out. You don't look at problems and think of them as, oh, just problems. You look at problems and see people that are suffering through those problems, and how do you help them realize their potential? How do you help them realize that they are the solutions to the problems that they're having? How do you give them those skills? How do you give them those thoughts? How do you create a space for them to grow? You know what I mean? And especially as a youth leader, once you have an initiative, you need to understand that you're fulfilling your purpose. And the people that are volunteering under your initiative are also fulfilling their purpose through your initiative. So like I said, involve them, let them teach you, let them guide you, let them be able to don't suffocate them for them not to be able to express themselves as well, because your initiative will really flourish from their different ideas. Be able to be teachable from, different people, not just leaders by Longkore, they're in your line of work. There's so many other people that know certain things that you can definitely learn from. So also follow people that are inspirational, that you want to, I don't want to say emulate, but that have certain characteristics that you aim to have as well, that you're trying to have, principles that they have that you also want to have as well. So stay humble, guys. That's another one also in my 4th tip. Stay humble and teachable. So always be at the core of it all. Once you realize that everything that you've accomplished came from the Lord, our God, there's nothing that you did on your own. Once you come to that realization, then you're able to be calm and humble, because you don't credit yourself for having accomplished certain things. And if I give an example with myself, I don't credit myself. I don't think I have the power per se to pull this many people to support Put Youth on. I believe that God has given me the grace and favor, and that I continuously pray for in my quiet time with Him, that I beg for, that I ask for, for these blessings to come upon my life. And He continues to do that, and that's how I view it. And that allows me to not be too too much. Ha ke fila tota, ha ke fila le batho ba ileng gore ke na le bona ba itse, ha ke fila ke credita modimo, ha ke file as I did this, ke fila gore go itse gore modimo wa nthata. You know what I mean? That's the way I believe that you stay humble, because you don't credit yourself, because there's nothing that we do in this world on our own. So yeah, and my last and final tip, it's just something that I also feel like I had to learn as well as a youth leader. It was so difficult, because I'm the opposite of this thing, and I'm still learning to this day. So my final tip is be patient, but also urgent. So, yo guys, youth leadership is a journey. It's a journey, and people usually see the outside of what it is, but you deal with your internal emotions and feelings. You know how you feel, you know what you go through, and you know what you want and what you're trying to fight so hard to achieve, but it just seems like things are moving so slowly. But one thing about God, so intentional, so on time. He never, ever fails. So be patient and understand that you are working in God's plan, and God has a plan for you. He will make sure that it comes to pass. Ne? And but don't be relaxed. That's the other thing. Be urgent, be planned, and try to just keep up with the pace that you see everything is going at. But always be calm, be at peace, and understand that things will work according to plan. So thank you so much, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share the channel, comment on this video, and love you guys so much. Bye, batho, bye, man.